we are scheduled. We, as a program, are scheduled to talk to Drake Maye on Monday.
Woo!
Now, and that'll be, of course, during football season as well. Because I, by the way, don't think Jacoby Brissett is starting a game. We'll get into that. But we're scheduled to talk to him on Monday here on WEEI. So stay tuned for that. And I do think we're going to need some help translating Drake Maye here and there. We'll get to that later on in the show. We'll, of course, get to all your thoughts. 617-779-7937. If you've been listening for the last handful of weeks and months, really back to the end of Patriots season, you should know how we all feel. Mego and I love the pick. Arcand hates the pick. He doesn't like any of the quarterbacks. He wanted them to trade back. He wanted them to take a receiver. He wanted them to do pretty much anything except for take the quarterback last night. So, again, you can jump in with all your thoughts. You can also vote in our big question of the day up now at Jones and Mego. How much is he playing this year? How much are we going to see Drake Maye? And my stance is very similar to Mac Jones a couple of years ago, which I was right about that part of Mac Jones. They drafted him to play. They didn't draft him to sit behind Cam Newton. They weren't going to force us to watch another year of Cam Newton. They drafted Mac Jones to play. He played. This kid's playing. And we'll talk to Tommy Curran about it at 3:30. I know he disagrees. We'll talk to Dan Orlovsky at 4:30. I don't know if he agrees or disagrees that they will or won't, but I know he doesn't think he's ready to play right away. So I'm sure I'll get some pushback on this. It's what I said about Mac. No one thought Mac was going to start week one. This kid's going to start week one. And more importantly, he should. You take him at 3, he's starting, he's playing. I'm not bringing him in week 8 or 9. I'm definitely not having him sit for a year or 2. I'm drafting him to play him. I want him to play. I can't watch Jacoby Brissett. So I think he's playing. That's how I voted.
So I think that if he was ready to play and they felt confident putting him out there, that they would do it week 1. I think they would love to do that. But I don't think it's exactly the same as the Cam Newton, Mac Jones situation. Jacoby Brissett, I'm not going to sit here and act like he's even a top 20 quarterback in this league, but I don't think that he's at the level of
I'm not sure he's top 32.
I know, I'm trying to be nice here. So I don't think he's at the level of complete breakdown that we had seen of Cam Newton at that point. All this to say, we haven't seen these guys in any way, in any shape or form in this iteration of the Patriots yet, like in the OTAs, minicamp, camp, anything like that. So I think this is a really difficult question to answer here today. But if I had to make a prediction, I would lean 50-50 at best. Like, at best, and even that I think might be a little soon. I disagree with you. I think they would love to roll him out there week 1 and have him, or even when Justin Herbert came in, like have him do the Herbert thing and show himself out right away. But they came from, Elliott Wolf did this probably with the compromise of he's coming from the Packers background. This kid is a project. Everybody else loves him. Elliott Wolf is saying, well, if we bring him in, we're going to do this the Packer way, and we're going to develop him.
Yeah, maybe
we're going to bring in all these people to develop him behind the scenes. We're not going to put our mess out there.
Okay.
And we're not going to screw him up.
Maybe he said that Mego in Cleveland.
50 at best. They might put the chastity belt on him and say, like, absolutely not. They might be abstinence only this entire season.
Yeah, Mego, they might have. Elliott Wolf brought the Packer way to Cleveland too, quote unquote, and they drafted a kid and played him right away in Baker Mayfield.
Does he sound like he was very happy about that now that he talks about it publicly as a member of the Patriots?
No, but the pick didn't work. I think he's distancing himself from the pick. So, look, in Green Bay, they didn't have to play their rookie. They had Brett Favre. And they had Aaron Rodgers. They didn't have to play their rookie. In Cleveland, they had to, and they did. And here, they have to. It's not Brett Favre.
I'd love to see him,
Jacoby Brissett.
I know. I'd love to see him. I really would. It would be way more entertaining. Like, I'm on that side for sure. And I understand that they want to sell jerseys. They want to sell tickets. They want to fill the seats that were so empty last season. Like, I get all of that. I just think it's going to be 50-50 at best.
What does he gain by sitting? Like, I don't understand what he gains by sitting.
I think it's not so much about gaining as fixing the stuff without getting him ruined on the field.
Okay, but you also don't get any experience on the field, so now there's a complete lack of getting any experience in real NFL games.
So doesn't it come down to, like, sorry, just really quick, when you hear people who are very fond of Drake Maye, one of the things that they cite, Tom Curran has done it, I've heard other people do it, say...
Well, he's not fond of Drake Maye,
Okay, well, the things that they like about him, he pops right back up after he gets the crap hit out of him, and he just goes right back and goes to another play and has that reaction. That's the kind of thing that I think can get knocked out of you when the offensive line is as bad as it is and you have nobody to throw to.
Sure. I just think the two comps you hear for him often are Josh Allen, which is super high end, or Justin Herbert, which is also pretty high end. Those guys played right away. Neither one was supposedly ready. They both played week 2. And if they could start week 2, and they both started week 2, Allen played week 1, started week 2. I don't think Herbert played week 1. I'd have to double check it. He started week 2 when Tyrod Taylor got stabbed in the lung. If they were ready to play week 2 and they weren't ruined, they could have played week 1. This kid should play right away. Is how I voted. You can vote at Jones and Mego. Arcand, what do you think?
The question is, how much should he play? Not how much do I want him. How much should he play? He should be the day one starter in a vacuum. But on this team with this offense, I go 50-50 with Brissett. I think throwing him into this fight. And now I'd be willing to change my mind here if they trade out of 2 and get Ayuk or get one of these other wide receivers. If they have a true top-end receiver.
Not draft one at 34, an established one, right?
And trade for one who's established.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
T. Higgins or Ayuk or Deebo Samuel or any of those guys. If they make a trade, then I'll switch back to day one starter. But if it's this offense right now, this historically bad offense that you had from last year that didn't get any better in the offseason in really any way, I'm not putting the rookie out there, especially an unpolished rookie who everyone's basically saying, yeah, this guy might need to sit for a little bit. I'm not saying, and I'm flabbergasted by these results, by the way. I cannot believe what I'm seeing with these results. But I go 50-50 with an eye towards making him the day one starter if you can bring in a receiver. But if you can't, then I'm not putting a full 17-game season on this kid's shoulder with that offense.
Okay,
no way.
I'll get to the results of the voting now, and you can weigh in on the phone, 617-779-7937. Do you like the pick? Do you hate the pick? Do you wish they did something else? What do you like about Drake Maye? What scares you about Drake Maye? Of course, all of that, and whether or not he should play week 1. I think he should. I'm not afraid to play him week 1. I don't think you ruin quarterbacks. They can play or they can't play. Josh Allen could play, and he was in week 2 because he could play. Justin Herbert, same thing. Even Carson Wentz, he gets compared to Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz played as a rookie.
How about RG3?
RG3 was ready.
And then he got destroyed.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can get a guy hurt, but I don't think you ruin, like, confidence-wise, I don't think you ruin them confidence-wise. Guys get hurt when they play.
I think you can screw him up a little bit.
You can sit him for 3 years and have him play his first game, and he can get hurt in game 1. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. Guys get hurt. Confidence-wise, and in terms of, like, setting him back, I don't think you ruin them in that way. Health-wise, maybe. But, again, whenever he plays, he could get hurt. You can jump in on this, 617-779-7937. Mego, I want to circle back to you on this. But, Arcand, you don't like Drake Maye. You don't like the pick. Is there anything you like about him or find intriguing about the pick at 3?
Just the sense that there's maybe something down the road that could work out. He's an unpolished player, but he's someone with potential and a high ceiling. I mean, I appreciate that in a prospect, but I don't think it's great for this team right now and what they're sort of trying to do. I just don't think that makes a lot of sense to put an unpolished rookie who needs all this work and needs all this extra help and these offensive coaches and all these people that they've hired. It just seems like that's going to be a tough sell on an offense like this that didn't really improve. If you'd improved the offense and you'd brought in some people like the Bears did, the Bears have this great system right now with rookies and veterans and all these great pass catchers, and it's just like you look at what the Patriots have, and I just feel like it's a no-win situation for him.
Okay. I hate to keep doing this, but if I were doing a radio show in Houston, or if I was more familiar with the media there, my feeling is last year they would have been saying the same thing about C.J. Stroud. You can't play him. There's nothing around him. How are you going to do it? No one knew what Tank Dell was. 3rd-round pick. Maybe the Patriots draft a receiver in the 3rd round, and he can play. I bet in Houston they're like, you can't rush him out. You can't play him. And it turns out you could. And they're better off because they did. Mego, what do you like best about Drake Maye? There's a lot of qualities.
I like this question.
But what do you like best on the field about Drake Maye?
The arm. Absolutely. I mean, I think that's just something that we've been lacking here for a long time. I say we as people watching the Patriots. The arm strength, I think, can be a real differentiator. I know people are upset with the accuracy in terms of the judgment that he can show where throwing into double coverage. And I know our very favorite Bill Belichick was illustrating some of this last night. But I think arm and toughness are going to be paramount to whoever is in this situation's success. It's a reason why I didn't like J.J. McCarthy, is that I think that we've been talking about intangibles for so long. And with Drake Maye, you see the athleticism, you see the size, you see the arm. Okay, is he going to make poor decisions? Can you teach him to read defenses better? I feel like it's just, I can't believe the amount of people who have been in my mentions saying Mac 2.0, Mac 2.0.
Doesn't make sense.
This is the reverse of the coin.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Drake Maye is perfect in any way.
Yeah, right.
He's definitely a project. But what you see, you can see what you're working with. Now, the intangibles or the decision making, some of the judgment calls, how he reads defenses, these things are things that are maybe harder to see with the naked eye. And you have to ask yourself, is that something you can teach? Is that something you can learn very quickly and play his first year? But I'm more confident that you can teach somebody to read defenses than you can teach somebody to have a cannon for an arm.
Yeah, exactly. And so I don't know how much confidence I have in their coaching staff to do all that, because I don't like the coaching staff. But those things can be coached, right? You can't teach a rocket arm. You can't teach the size. You can't teach the athleticism. And I get it. Like, Mac Jones didn't work out as a pick. And Drake Maye may not work out as a pick. I get that. But in terms of a prospect, there's zero comparison between the two. I'm with you on that. Start with one going at 3 and the other being the 5th quarterback in his class at 15. And there's more to it. Size, athleticism, arm, all these other things. Just because you brought up Bill, and we're going to play you clips from Bill Belichick breaking down Drake Maye coming up. Where were you guys watching last night? What were you watching for draft coverage?
So I had to be honest, I was watching mostly on like the ESPN main channel. I don't know. Sometimes it's just easier for me than
that was the Greenberg one?
Yeah.
Not the College Game Day one on ABC,
No.
the Greenberg one.
So and then I was clicking over to the alternate broadcast just to see.
With McAfee.
Mm-hmm. But I can't, with these big events, I feel the same way most of the time with like Monday Night Football, and it drives Mr. Who crazy whenever the Manning cast is on because he prefers that. But I'm like, I don't know. I need the structure of it. I need to be able to follow it that way. I'm too ADHD to be able to sit there and watch Pat McAfee dressed as a Western Undertaker.
How much McAfee and Bill did you watch last night, Arcand?
I watched the beginning of it when there was no sound, and then I watched for a little while after that when they put the big board out and all that stuff. And it was hard because I did want to watch some of that. I wanted to watch NBC Sports Boston. I wanted to see the main broadcast.
A good amount of that,
did
too.
you?
Yeah.
I did not.
I was trying to get a little bit of everything, and it was overwhelming. But I will say this with Belichick. Maybe it's just me being in the fields here a little bit, but after that article and after the documentary, I thought Bill Belichick came off as very sympathetic.
Excellent observation, Christian.
I thought I was rooting for him. I was sitting there listening to him, and I thought just the way everything about the presentation that he had and the way that he was sort of going back and forth on TV.
When he sat down with Goodell?
Arcand.
Yeah.
He was on a set with a Mel Kiper impersonator.
I'm telling you.
And Boston Connor in like a tux. And his bust of a draft pick and Darius Butler. And I've never heard him speak A.J. Hawk. He's reduced to the internet with a Mel Kiper impersonator. That's sympathetic?
Yes, I thought so.
Okay.
I felt bad. I felt bad for him, the way he was treated by the Crafts. I felt
I agree
bad
with that.
This is the thing that he had to do for the.
What does that have to do with
his
the show last
presentation.
night?
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
telling you about that. I'm just telling you the impression that I got of Bill Belichick. I looked at him as a sympathetic figure based on the way he was treated by the Crafts. That's really what it was rooted in. But I was watching him, and I felt for him.
Were you drinking?
I was not.
Okay.
Wow. What an accusation. From
sometimes you get
really.
hungover and out for a week, Mego
Captain,
over here.
Sometimes you get
Pants over
beer
here.
tears. You know?
It wasn't beer tears. It wasn't. It was
Okay.
really.
Bill, look at him.
Hang on. So
You know me. I've ripped Bill plenty, but I think
No,
that
no.
after the latest thing, when Kraft's calling around trying not to
think
let
I
him
get
get
it.
hired somewhere, watching him go out there and try and do TV, which he wasn't comfortable doing, I felt bad for him. I honestly did.
No. I get. I now understand what Arcand's saying. I didn't get what he was saying at first. I get this. Because he's reduced to doing internet television with a Mel Kiper impersonator and how far he's fallen, Arcand has some sympathy.
Let's not say reduced. That's a huge show, man. Like that.
it's a big show.
That's
Sure.
an incredible moneymaker.
He's well compensated.
I don't feel bad.
He's well
They have a
compensated.
few more listeners than this show.
No,
If that's falling far, I'll fall.
Okay, for sure. But like, you don't think Bill was looking around going, "What the hell am I doing?"
I don't think so. I think he was like, I'm with the cool people in this room.
617-779-7937. We'll get to Bill Belichick breaking down prospects. Where'd you watch?
Something I've never said in the studio.
I'm with you. I watched mostly the traditional basic bitch missionary position ESPN broadcast last
Lights
night.
off.
Greeny, me and Greeny face to face is what I was watching last night. And I flipped into.
I think it's nice that way.
I flipped into McAfee a couple of times.
More intimate.
Yeah, I flipped into McAfee right at the beginning of the draft when Caleb Williams got picked just to see what it was all about. And I obviously wanted to hear what Bill had to say. And then
McAfee's the reverse cowgirl. Draft coverage.
He was dressed like it last night.
I don't even know. Positions I don't even know about is what that broadcast was. But I had to listen to the Mel Kiper impersonator, and I said, I can't watch more of this. So you guys can jump in. All your thoughts, plus you can vote in our big question of the day. Up now at Jones and Mego. How quickly should Drake Maye get on the field? How much of him are we going to see this year? Meantime, Gerard Mayo answered just those things last night. I want to play these in order because I think the order is important. Here's the first answer from Gerard Mayo about whether or not there'll be any quarterback competition. This is Mayo 1.
Gerard and Elliott, is Drake Maye a quarterback you feel can start right away, or someone that you think needs some time to develop?
Yeah, I think, to go back to Bill, I don't think many rookies are ready to just jump in and play. And look, at the end of the day, our philosophy is the best players will play. And, coming in as a rookie, hopefully he's a sponge. There are a lot of good players in that locker room. And look, Jacoby, he understands. Like, he's a mentor. He's very smart, has great leadership skills, and hopefully Drake can learn something from him as well. But I would say, we're going to compete all spring. We're going to compete during training camp, and the best player will start.
Okay, best player will start. It's obvious who that is. And secondarily, anytime you're talking about Jacoby Brissett and you're like, yeah, he's got good leadership, that is and I've heard this analogy before. That is she's got a good personality. I mean, that's what he's got good leadership. And so I think,
what's the equivalent of she's not girlfriend material? Like he's got a great arm?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And so
he fills the suit.
And so I hear them talk about Jacoby Brissett's leadership, and I think Mayo let it slip right there. May's got a real chance. If Maye has a disaster of a camp, well, then of course he's not going to start. But if it's even close, if it's even in the same zip code, Drake Maye and what he brings on day one versus Jacoby Brissett in year whatever the hell it is, 10, Maye's going to start. I think Mayo basically told you that, and here's the real smoking gun. Listen to him walk it back later on. He's not even asked about the competition or Jacoby Brissett or anything like that. I believe he's asked about Maye's ceiling, if I'm not mistaken. This is Mayo 3.
Gerard, you talked to Drake having an extremely high ceiling. To you, if he hits that ceiling, what does it mean for the future of the franchise?
It means a lot, But look, let me go back a couple of.
Let me go back. I know you're asking me about the ceiling, but hang on, I got to walk this back.
This is becoming a habit.
I don't want another burning cash comment here, so let me walk this one back. He knew how that sounded, the first one. So keep going.
To you, if he hits that ceiling, what does it mean for the future of the franchise?
It means a lot, But look, let me go back a couple of questions ago. We're not sitting here saying that Drake is our starting quarterback. I think he understands that. He understands the things that he has to get better at. And, with coaching and, once again, the hard work and the coaches that we have, the support system from ownership, I think he has a chance to go out there and really play at a high level. You can talk about potential all you want to until you reach it. It really doesn't matter. But we do know the man. We know the man is a hard worker, and he's going to do everything he can to be successful.
Okay. I will tell you, most people agree with the idea of sitting Drake Maye. And I think Mayo knew what he said. He was walking that back because he knew. He's like, let the cat out of the bag. Don't hold this one against me. How much did Drake Maye play this year? 58% say QB2 behind Brissett. That means the whole year?
Yeah.
You want to watch Brissett the whole year?
All year.
Oh, my God.
I'm shocked by that.
22% say day one starter. That's me. I was hammering that vote. He should play week one. And by the way, I think he's going to. I think they basically told you that last night. Both of you two are in the middle, right? 50-50%?
Yeah,
on
but
him playing?
I go more towards sitting.
Oh, my God.
I just think that's what they're going to do.
20% say 50-50.
Precious.
50-50, I can at least talk to you people. I can't even discuss the 58% who want him to sit all year.
Okay, well, that's
the majority. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't talk to him.
Because most people seem happy with the pitch, so it's like most people are happy that they're doing this and happy that he's sitting, which I'm surprised by. I'm surprised that's the way the fans are feeling right now. It just seems
they're
out
buying
of whack.
in, they're fantasizing about the upside.
I guess.
Yeah,
they don't want to see the reality that might be very ugly right now.
I think right now he has a higher floor than Brissett. Right now, today, I think he has a higher floor than Brissett. Never mind the ceiling. Let's start it off with Sorja in Mansfield. Go ahead, Sorja. Hello, Sorja?
All right.
Hello? Sorja, tough start.
That's not like Sorja.
I think he was just leaning in. How about my guy Jonathan in Randolph? Always ready to go. Jonathan, what's up?
Hey, guys. Anyone mad about this pick as a dumbass? What I like so much about
Arcand.
this really is that, I mean, maybe they're fooling us now, but it seems that they had, resolve toward what they wanted to do, even if maybe they didn't in the back, maybe they considered McCarthy. I don't care, because they took him right away. Like, they didn't toy around with the clock, all that. And I liked what the comments after it was more straightforward. And frankly, I appreciate Mayo going like, it's like kind of leaving it open a bit, in my opinion, that he could start this year. But, we'll see, whereas Bill wouldn't tell you anything. So it's like, I'm happy. Am I too happy? Yes, but it's different. It's refreshing. It's exciting.
It is. I agree. It's okay to be a little excited today. I haven't been this excited since the Patriots took N'Keal Harry in the first round. So it's a big moment for me.